Secret of the Conde Hermanos by Clarissa Bell. Chapter 23. It was at the copy machine in the music library at Schoenberg Hall in the UCLA campus that Gwen had heard a familiar voice coming over her shoulder. "Excellent choice," the voice approved. "Glad to see you're not neglecting your tremolo these days. Recuerdos de la Alhambra keeps the fingers very nimble." It was Eduardo Candelas, whom Gwen had not seen in over 3 years, and he was not alone. In his arms and sound asleep, a baby contentedly lay. Gwen, quite taken by surprise, made no response, so Eduardo continued. "Allow me to introduce Eduardo Candelas III, my son, Lalo. Got married last year." Gwen had known Ed Jr., or Lalo as he was called, from the time he was just a kid with a rock collection, till he was an inspiring geologist, on the cusp of graduating Caltech in the days before she had taken her break from guitar and lost touch with his father. "I guess a lot can happen in 3 years," she said simply. Yes, Lalo got married to a fellow geologist, and they had the wedding right there on the Caltech campus. They both got jobs at Mount St. Helens Institute, and at that moment, they're in town for Thanksgiving. What about you?" Eduardo inquired good-naturedly. Then gesturing to the music she was copying, he said, "I take it you got another guitar." "Yes, a Conde Hermanos, as a matter of fact," he replied offhandedly. "Oh ho! Did you go to Spain to get this one?" he asked with keen interest. "Quite the reverse. Came from Spain to find me. It was a complicated story, Eduardo, and I don't have time to tell it right now," she said hurriedly, gathering up her music and wanting to suddenly get as far away as possible. At that point, the baby was waking up and fussing. "Perhaps another time, then. I'd best take the baby outside to his grandmother, anyway. She's waiting for us with the stroller and a bottle. Keep in touch, Gwendolina," he said encouragingly, to which Gwen just forced a smile and said nothing. A few moments later, she exited the library. She dashed across the expansive lawn of the North Campus and, looking straight ahead, passed quickly by the stately facade of Royce Hall. Upon arriving home from her unsettling visit to the music library, Gwen noticed it was Blaze at this time, not Bartholomew, napping on a pile of unopened mail on the kitchen table. His head was resting in a pale pink envelope with a gold foil seal on the back. "What's this, Blaze?" she asked with mild surprise. "Following in Mew's footsteps, are we?" To which Blaze just yawned and stretched a hind leg above his head. While grooming in the manner Gwen affectionately called playing the violin, he revealed that the envelope was from none other than Paloma and Jack Lambert. "Well, perhaps you're right. This looks like something in need of attention," she acknowledged, as she broke the seal of the envelope with a paper knife and examined its contents. It was an announcement of the arrival of a new baby girl who had been named Clyde Lambert. "What a perfectly charming name," Gwen mused, "for a marine biologist and a budding naturalist, that is." And she remembered the fairy tale namesake, who was a water nymph who had turned into a sunflower. "Well, congratulations are in order," she added, picking up the phone to call Paloma immediately. "They're both sleeping right now," Jack whispered, when he answered the phone a few months later. "Don't disturb them," Gwen instinctively whispered back. "Just tell Paloma I called and can't wait to meet your new addition to the family." "It will be very soon," Jack went on in hushed tones. "We're coming down for New Year's and staying with you, if that's all right." "Of course," Gwen returned happily. "And there's more. Elspeth decided to come off her self-imposed exile in the desert. She's meeting us in Los Angeles and driving back with us to Carmel." "For good?" Gwen asked incredulously. "For good," was Jack's reply. "Never underestimate the power of the newly born," was the conclusion Gwendolyn delivered to Jack. "Especially over their grandparents," Jack added for good measure. "It's almost as if a spell has been broken, don't you think?" Gwendolyn couldn't help but marvel. "No question," Jack agreed. "By the way, there's a christening as well in the Little Woodman Chapel at the Meditation Garden, down the road from you on the day after New Year's. Please don't go to any trouble. We'll have a small reception at the Sea Lion afterwards." "Then you must let me host the New Year's Eve gathering at the house," Gwen insisted. "Nothing elaborate, just close friends." "Only if you let me provide the Monterey County sparkling wine," Jack countered festively. "Deal," Gwen said, hanging up the phone. It was the day before New Year's when Gwen received a jubilant call from Helena, in which she also asked for a favor. "Listen, Gwen, Alice wanted to know if it's okay with you if she brings a guest to New Year's Eve get-together tomorrow. She says she'll also bring carrot cake, of course. Helena giggled. Well, in that condition, I suppose it's all right, Gwen teased. But seriously, she continued, who is it, if I may ask? Alice, it seems, had been swept up in a whirlwind romance, Helena gushed. She has met the elusive man of her dreams. Wow, where? Gwen asked curiously. At the Casca Escobar in Marina del Rey, Helena announced ceremoniously, where she innocently stopped for a drink around Thanksgiving only to be asked to dance by a dashing caballero who was proceeded to sweep her off her feet. As it turns out, he's not an entire stranger, but an old family acquaintance she hadn't seen in years. How wonderful for her, Gwen enthused. Truly is, Helena went on. Alice, you see, loves to dance, and so does he. And he takes her to La Misia, El Gato Negro, Caché. They're all over town together. It's a match made in heaven, as they say. Well, tell Alice he's more than welcome to join us tomorrow night, and I look forward to meeting him, Gwen said as a hummingbird suddenly appeared at the window and hovered in what seemed to be suspended animation for several long seconds before flying speedily away to a nectar at the nearby bottlebrush tree. Elspeth had flown in that morning from Palm Springs and Paloma. Jack and Clyde would arrive the day before from Carmel and picked her up at LAX as planned. They had spent a restful afternoon at the house in preparation for the evening to come. As the hour drew near Helena, Lysander and Blaze were the next to arrive, and along with these two cats, began to nibble at the sardine finger sandwiches that Gwen had set out. Jack opened a bottle of sparkling wine, while all were impressed by the beauty of Clyde's smile, for she was just 2 months old and had only recently learned how to smile. To smile for the first time is surely one of the most tender milestones in life. Elspeth noted that she herself was becoming reacquainted with the long-forgotten facial expression as well. Finally the doorbell rang, and Helena exclaimed gaily, "This must be Alice and the love of her life!" She linked arms with Gwen and with much anticipation rushed to her door to open it. But as Gwen did so and found herself standing face to face with Alice's new beau, it was hard to say who was more shocked, Gwen or Eduardo Candelarias.